Hello and thanks for joining me today. My name's Bill Kimball, Platform Manager for Jones and Bartlett Learning, and I'm going to be doing a quick overview of Navigate course, Nutrition, 4th edition. Navigate, the learning management system available from Jones and Bartlett, combines premium content with classroom management tools you'd expect from an online course. Nutrition 4th edition is comprised of 15 lessons, each containing a description, objectives, read, review, and practice areas, an assignments area, and additional resources we thought would be beneficial to the students. It should be noted that all content is pre-populated in the course shell for immediate use by professors following their adoption. For the purpose of today's demo, I'm going to focus on 3 content items: our ebook, key image reviews, and the interactive exercise. The ebook's broken out into individual chapters. We're going to launch chapter 1 for today's demo. When a student enters into the ebook, they can very quickly scroll through the various sections of that chapter. They can zoom in and out in the page, search by page number, or search by keyword. They can also take notes from the page that they're on. Once they save these notes, they can resume using the ebook. If they'd like, they can save these notes direct to their computer by exporting the notes. Clicking the button on the top right, Export Notes, will do just that. Once they're done using the ebook, it's a simple matter of entering back into the classroom. Moving down to the key image review area. The key image review is similarly broken out by chapter like the ebook. This puts the images from a particular chapter in a grid format that allows students to click on them and open them in a high-resolution view. And finally, the interactive exercise. For this lesson, food facts label. Now, for the purposes of this demo, I've muted the speakers, but it should be noted that these are all professionally narrated exercises. In this particular exercise, students can drag and drop these items in the order they believe is correct. And once they've completed that, the Submit button on the bottom right will allow them to check for their answers and for feedback. They can use the Reset button to utilize this tool as many times as they want. I'm going to shift gears a little bit now and start talking about the functionality of the site, or those classroom management tools that are common among all courses on our platform. Now, those of you that are familiar with other systems might be aware that in order to update content or add new content, you have to drill in deep into the back end of a system to get to the admin panel. Now, we know that you probably have your own content items you want to add, a class syllabus or documents or PowerPoints. We want to make it nice and easy for you. So for us, click the button that says Turn Editing On. It will refresh the page, and all those editing tools will come to you in the main classroom. So unlike other systems where you have to drill into a back-end admin panel, your admin panel becomes part of your main classroom. Hovering over items already in the course will show the various icons that are available to you. These images allow you to make very quick edits. You can move, update, delete, or hide things from student viewing if you'd like. This is particularly useful if you want to hide something but not completely delete it. You can enable that for student viewing at any time later on. If you want to add new content into the class, such as a PowerPoint or a Word doc or a website, you can do that by using the Add a Resource drop-down. Linking to a file or a website will allow you to import a document, search for a website, or type in the web address directly. You can also add a web page, compose a text page, or insert text-based labels. In the Activity drop-down menu, you can add things such as homework assignments, forums, or quizzes. I'm going to turn the editing off now, and we're going to focus on the blocks in the course, or the physical layout of the classroom. And by blocks, I mean those items that appear both on the left and the right of the screen. Starting on the left, in the People block, the Participants link will allow folks to see who's in their class, so basically a class roster. You can drill into the individual and see their profile, send a blast message to all, or view everyone that's in your course. In the Activities block, this is a fast way to organize electronic resources in the class. And what I mean by that is if I want to see all the forums available to me, I can either scroll through all 15 lessons, or I can click on the link that says Forums and see all 15 forum links on one page. The Administration block has an area for you to turn editing on or off, just like the button on the top right, but it's the grades reports, and file area that I'd like to focus on for this demo. So let's take a look at the Gradebook for a moment. The Gradebook is highly configurable, but the good news is that its initial layout, the way it appears to professors, is very simple and very intuitive because it takes on the look and feel of an Excel spreadsheet. Part of the reason for that is because you can export this as an Excel spreadsheet, a text file, or an open document spreadsheet and save it directly on your computer. Now I mentioned it's configurable, and what I mean by that is if you want to add weighted grades to your classroom, you can do that very easily in the categories and items section. So if homework is worth 10% of a student's overall grade and quizzes are worth 30%, you can set that up so that each time you add a graded item, you simply select which bucket it should go into, and then the system will scale those grades automatically for you. Speaking of scales, if you do use a non-numeric system of scaling, such as pass, fail, complete, and complete, you can set those up very easily and customizable to your needs in the system. When students register themselves into the course, they will automatically appear in the gradebook on the left-hand column. Graded items will appear off on the right. Any student attempts will appear on the right-hand side as well. The overall average row is a very fast way for instructors to see just how well the class is doing as a group. So in Lesson 1 quiz, we can see that the class has an average of 10%. Obviously, that's a problem. So what you can do in the gradebook is click on the link titled Lesson 1 quiz, all the way at the top of the column. Clicking on that link will generate a deeper level of reporting on the grades. This will show the professor the individual marks that the student made on that quiz. Perhaps you might notice some trending. Maybe questions 3, 4, and 5 were incorrect across all your students. If this isn't enough information for you, or you want a more detailed report, the third level of reporting is in our item analysis area. Clicking on the button titled Item Analysis will generate a detailed statistical item analysis on the individual quiz questions contained within your quiz. This will give you everything from standard deviation, mean, correct answers versus the distractors, percentage of individuals who answered in what fashion, and allow you to make instant edits on the questions should you determine that there are any errors or discrepancies. This can similarly be saved in an Excel spreadsheet, open document, or text file. Moving back into the main classroom, I'd like to go into the reports area. In the reporting area, you can choose to see either one individual or all, one particular date or all days since the class was live. You can choose to see a particular activity or all activities. Maybe you just want to see who's actually looked at the ebook, for example. You can choose the type of action and the manner in which that information should be displayed. You can save this, much like the gradebook, in an open document, text file, or Excel spreadsheet. So let's see what it looks like. It'll give you a time and date stamp, the IP address or the physical location the individual is at when they logged in from a particular machine, who logged in, and what they did. Again, you can save this locally to your computer just by choosing the format you desire and then clicking on Get These Logs. The only thing you need to do after that is just save the file once it presents itself. The final area to talk about is in the Files area. If you want to go into the back-end folder structure, you're welcome to add multiple documents, categories of documents. You can add folders that contain many documents on a similar topic, and then link to that one folder so that instead of having 15 links on a page, you might have only one link to the folder of links. So I'm going to move over to the right-hand side of the page. And on the right-hand side, in the Messages, Upcoming Events, and Newsfeed area, this is typically where we keep our communication blocks. The message block on the top right is just as the name implies. This is the message center where any emails received in the class will have the notification displayed. Another feature that's enabled in our system is that after 10 minutes of receiving a message, if the message has not been read, the system will automatically forward a copy of it to the individual's email address they used when they signed up for an account with us. This is meant to reduce any delays between when a student sends a message to a professor and when that professor actually sees it. The Upcoming Events block is a 2-week snapshot of all pending deadlines from the calendar. There's nothing a professor has to do in order to get items into the Upcoming Events block, as it's fed automatically from the calendar. If something finds its way into the calendar, it will find its way into the Upcoming Events block. Again, this is a great reminder service for students. The news feed is an RSS feed that is serving up live links to articles that are updated regularly on the Jones and Bartlett blog. These are specific to the nutrition articles. This is just a nice way of rounding out the student's experience by giving them relevant and topical information about the world of nutrition. These articles will update automatically, and there's nothing professors have to do to make those update. We added another block called Additional Resources. We found several links that we felt were important enough for the students to always have access to, regardless of the lesson module they were in. So we placed them in that Additional Resources block. And then finally, the calendar. The calendar will accept both manual entries as well as automated entries. Now, automated entries mean anytime you add an activity that has a grade potential or a submission deadline, that item will end up in the calendar all on its own, and by extension into the upcoming events block. If you do want to add an event into the calendar manually, you can simply click on the month and the year, and you'll be prompted to enter in your event. The event will ask for a color code, and it explains what the color codes are so that when users, your students, see what it is, they'll know if it's just for them or if it's for a course-wide event. Any questions you have should be directed to your sales representative at Jones and Bartlett Learning. We have on-staff technical learning system specialists that work in concert with the sales team so that we can provide detailed walkthroughs on our product. Thank you for your time today.